Good afternoon, everyone. We are the team Accelerate here, and the rest of the team are here. And again, thanks for this opportunity. So what we're going to cover over the next 2.5 minutes is a society which is changing. We have aging demographics, and large part of the society, be it in tier 1 cities or tier 2 of the hinterland, are digitally cut off. They're unable to embrace digital inclusion, digital services, with the ease that most of us sophisticated are able to take for granted. So what we are depicting here is aging demographic citizens who want seamless access to transportable services, sustainable transport whenever they need on demand, and ability to get them from point A to point B with safe and security and convenience. So what we have here is a senior gentleman who was used to bullock cart, which is representing from previous time. It's a generation he was used to from 1990. So we do a time jump with the mobile communications here, with the digital services. Obviously, we got to take into consideration the multilingual aspect. So no matter what language, Hindi, Telugu, Tamil or Malayalam or Bengali, they're able to access. And here is the human connection where the operator is able to not only translate on the language and able to get them the right sustainable transport on demand and get it to them on a need basis, right? At the same time, what we're also looking at is ability to make the transition for them into digital technology as seamless as possible. So at the core, we're talking about taking care of changing demographics and the changing needs, and as well as the digital inclusion, the multilingual aspect, making it simple and easier, and the non-linear programming-based voice technology. So I'll request you to kind of bring this to life.
So the points that we wanted to bring forth were the key trends that we spotted and build a narrative around it. So we've looked at the emerging demographics and changing nature of demographics, the digital way of being and existing. We've looked at digital inclusion and leapfrogging, which is leapfrogging not just technology wise, but in terms of services, in terms of product availability. Then we spoke about hyper-personalization and instant gratification, the speed and the need for attention from the customer in their language, and that's why we are looking at using multiple languages and using voice support. So that leads to a happy customer at our end.
Good evening. This is Team Revive. The team is there. What we try to do here is we, zoomed out a part of the buying behavior of a low middle class woman who is actually taking the decision based on various pieces. That's what we have done in our activity. And this also entails the end-to-end journey of the buying process of the customer. Now here what we have here is a bike which is made by a woman in a factory which employs only women and is being bought by a woman. So we have named it Shakti. The green color signifies the way in which the eco-friendliness of the bike. Having said that, if you see around the chart, we're talking about a woman who is doing her test drive. Once the test drive is done, she drives out quite hey. You can see the sunglasses there, which are quite cool. We are talking about the woman who is actually driving out and actually influencing a lot. And if you want to take it forward.
So it's a future woman who's very confident in her skin and typical middle class, but this is a product designed end-to-end for the woman. So we're talking about, one of the point was amplify diverse voices. So this is something which is out of the way, not already available, but has all the touch points. So you have sustainability as part of the parts being recycled, coming back to the factory. There's a service setup for maintenance to make sure the product has longevity. There's a word of mouth, so the community building. So why should have boys have all the fun? So she also has part of the community for this bike separately. It's called the Shakti Cool Woman. And then we have over here, so diversity. So they're future consumers. So she's also a role model for the small girls in her community, being able to express themselves. And as a brand, they are able to identify that as a need and empowering and creating a community for the women to be themselves and as a future be gender equal in terms of other opportunities. So that's the
right. Emotes and team members, raise your hands please. We got 2.5 minutes. Hey, hi, here's the team. And so what we've tried to depict here is a consumer. She is a lady in Faizabad in UP. 5 years from now using a mobile phone, and she's intending to buy a laptop for herself, right? And at the same point in time, she is not using keyboards anymore. It's voice and local language that she's conversant and happy with, and that's where she voices her requirement. The brands get to know of her choice or her need, and they kind of engage her through a gamification model, which is in relevance to the context in Faizabad, something which is in local language again. She kind of also gets a lot of feedback from the local community within UP, and that's also vernacular, and she's kind of made up her mind. But she needs certain customizations on her laptop, and that's where this feedback loop goes back to the brand that she's considering to buy, and they finally release it to the retailer where she physically goes and checks her laptop and buys. And the product on its journey and our experience and use as well kind of keeps on sending real-time feedbacks to the OEM. End of life, she is happy with the product, but whenever the product is through end of life, she is also aware and disposes it off responsibly, sustainably. That's the dream.